episode 6 of The Knitting Esquire, a podcast all about my adventures in knitting and other fibery crafts that I find myself getting into. Today is Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, and my name is Candace. I am an attorney and I live in Orlando, Florida with my husband and our 2 sons. I have some finished objects, a couple of works in progress, and some procurements to share with you today. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. You can find me over on Instagram as Candace Sue ESQ Knits and over on Ravelry as The Knitting ESQ. I will make sure that all of the projects that I talk about today are listed below in the description box. So if you just click the little chevron or the more, and you will find all of the details regarding all of the projects and a link to the project pages on Ravelry. I will also make sure to link any of the designers and fiber makers or dyers that I talk about on today's episode. So without further ado, let's talk about some finished objects. I have finished all of the sister socks. 3 pairs, all done, which is a total of 4 pairs of socks for the year. I am on my fibery quest for 24 pairs of socks in 2024. So now I only need to knit 20 more pairs of socks to meet that goal. However, I'm only sharing 3 of those pairs of socks today because those are my sister socks. So I originally started, and I don't remember, so let me check my little project notebook here. I started this project or this group of socks on January 9th this year was the first one that I had cast on. And I had decided, as I have explained in previous episodes, that I wanted to knit a pair of socks for myself and my 2 sisters so we could have matching socks, which I'm calling the sister socks. And so I started off with my youngest sister's pairs of socks. I showed this as a finished object maybe 2 episodes ago. And so this is her pair of socks. Now, she wears the same size sock as I do, so it's very easy to get her measurements. The other sister, my middle sister, she does not wear the same size socks as I do. I explained previously. She has quite large feet. In fact, she wears a size 11, so it took me a little bit longer to complete her pair of socks. The first pair that I knit, I completed on January 20th and then immediately cast on for sister number 2's socks. And they are complete. I don't have them on sock blockers. I apologize. I was getting ready to ship them out and I figured I should probably do a full episode on completing all of these socks. And so as you can see, hers are done as well. Now, I used Magpie Fibers Swanky sock, which is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon base. And I am part of the Magpie Fiber Society Club. And so you get to choose 2 skeins, whether they're speckled or variegated or one of each, every quarter. And then they send you the 2 skeins. Sometimes it's DK, sometimes it's fingering. So I had 2 skeins of this fingering weight yarn, and I thought, what a great way to use it by making socks. And so, as you can see, there is a little bit of difference in the skeins because this one is definitely much more speckled than this one. And I finished up these 3 socks, so 2 for the one sister and 1 for the other, made up out of 1 skein of yarn. And so then I had to switch over to skein number 2 for the second sock, And so one of her foots is just going to be a little bit more freckled than the other, I guess. Which, in the grand scheme of things, when you talk about the middle sister or the middle child in general, I mean, how fitting is it that she's going to have a little bit of a varied sock? So, sorry, Mo. But your socks are done. So that is pair 2 for sister socks. And then I immediately after casting off those socks, which I finished on January 31st, so it averaged about to be 10 or 11 days per pair of socks. So on January 31st, I cast on pair number 3, which is my set. And I knew going into pair number 3, I was not going to have enough yarn to finish the socks. I think I was going to end up, if I had calculated it out correctly, so once I finished that second pair of socks, I weighed the final remaining amount of the skein of yarn, and I had approximately 77.13 grams, and I had used on the first pair of socks 77.26 grams. So it was going to be very, very close, and I really didn't want to risk playing yarn chicken. And I loved the pop of blue that I did in every set of socks. In fact, when you hold them all up together, you can see the progression as I started at the top and then moved down and then moved down just a little bit further. So they're kind of cute when they're all side by side like that. I knew I wasn't going to have enough, or very, very close to just having enough, and I really didn't want to risk playing yarn chicken. So the third pair, mine, got a blue toe, which is cute too. So this is the final pair of sister socks. I started these on January 31st and finished them on February 11th. So just recently finished. I'm so excited that they're all done. I love knitting the same pattern. All of them are vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars, which is a pattern by the crazy sock lady, Kay Litton. And it's so simple. It's so easy. I've knit so many pairs of these vanilla socks. So it's not the repeating of the patterns that I start to get sick of. It's the yarn. And I absolutely adore this yarn base, but when you knit 6 individual socks and they are literally all the same thing, it's just a little blah, right? So I've spent the last month knitting this yarn to get these 3 pairs of socks, and I am so thankful that I am done knitting this colorway. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, and I'll wear them, and I'm so glad that we all have socks that match. But I am very thankful that the project is finally complete, and I am done knitting sister socks for now. I might consider doing some more for all of us, but I'm just very thankful that I get to move on to my next fun colorway and take a break from this one. So that all being said, I did end up having approximately 1 gram, maybe iffy 1 gram left of yarn of that colorway. So I probably wouldn't have been able to finish up the toe. So I'm glad that I made that design choice to go ahead and just do a different toe on my pair of socks and not worry about playing yarn chicken. So all of that to say, the sister socks are done, and I can ship those 2 off to my sisters in Michigan, and whenever the next time the 3 of us are together, I will make sure to bring my socks or have them bring theirs, and we can get cute matching pictures of our socks together. So I think in the last episode, I was halfway done with Sister Number 2 sock. And so between my last episode and today, I finished 3 socks. So those are my finished objects for this episode. I will say, and I apologize in advance, it is a very sock heavy year for me. For some reason, I've just gotten the itch to knit socks, and it's what's making me happy. They're flying off my needles. I'm feeling like, every 10 or so days I get to start a different project, and for some reason it's the casting on and starting a new project that's really been getting me going with crafting. I don't know if it's because work has just been so crazy and I'm been working these ridiculously long hours, and I think last week I put in like 65 hours at work, if not a little bit more. And so just the thought of casting on something new is exciting and it's bringing me joy. So getting through a pair of socks in 10 days and casting on something else is totally my vibe right now. So all of that to say, I apologize for all of the socks that you will likely see in the next few episodes, but I also have some other projects happening and I'll talk about them. But if I haven't really worked on it, I probably won't bring it up because you don't want to just see the same progress over and over again. So without further ado, I have wrapped up the finished objects. So let's move into my works in progress. Both of these projects you have not seen yet. My Stephen West shawl is just kind of hanging out. It's very potato chippy and I love it, but the thought of like picking it up and like working on it, just I should just do it. It's more than halfway done, but I'm not gonna force it on myself. So that's where I'm at. I'm still in the same spot that I talked about a few episodes ago on my Stephen West glittering snowscape shawl. I did start immediately after finishing the final pair of sister socks, a new sock. And so this one I started on February 11th. And so what was that? Sunday I started it and I got a lot of progress done. It is living in my Tula Pink bag that I made. This is, I don't know which line this is from, but I love the butterflies. And I think I did, fun little stripes on the inside. That's also her fabric line. So I believe I discussed wanting to have a pair of St. Patrick's Day socks on the last episode, and I had highlighted the freckled whimsy Harry Potter or magical, I think it's called, what is it? Magical Mischief Club that Freckled Whimsy has, that I'm a part of. The January colorway was Peeves the Poltergeist, which when I showed it was absolutely just reminds me of St. Patty's Day. So this is it all caked up. Let's see if it kind of, there it goes. Look at those fantastic colors. Don't get my face. Don't get my face. And so I started these socks. Now I chose to do the heel toe do-si do pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. As you can see, I'm kind of obsessed with her patterns. I'm also doing these on my typical 9-inch circular needles. And from Sunday when I cast on to today, I almost have a full sock. Isn't this fantastic? Look at those colors. Ugh, I am so excited for these socks. I may just wear them all the time, even before St. Patty's Day. But I decided to go with the contrast color, which is this lovely, lovely Kelly green for the cuff, the heel, and I'll do the same for the toe when I get there. I am probably 25 rounds away from getting to the toe on this one, which is probably totally doable for tonight. So this is on Freckled Whimsy's Splendid Base, which is an 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. That is my favorite blend of just typical superwash merino and nylon blend to knit with. It just gives a little bit softer than the 75-25. And I cast these on with 56 stitches. I like to make my socks a little bit tighter because I feel that they stay on my ankle a little bit better. And then as I wear them, they kind of stretch, and then I throw them in the washer and dryer to kind of bring them back down to a smaller size that really hugs when I put them on. I hate it when the sock slides down. So I can't do it. So I'll just make it a little bit tighter, and it works out perfect every time for me. I'm knitting them on my 9-inch circular Addy Turbo Rocket needles, and I will hopefully have these done this weekend. So that is my current on the go, knit in the car line, knit during TV time at night project that I have been working on, which is why I have gotten so much progress since Sunday. So work in progress number 1 is my sock. So like I said, I have been a little bit obsessed with the feeling of the new project cast on, the excitement that you get, I don't know if it's like, I don't know what that feeling is that just kind of makes you want to keep going and not put it down. Like, I don't know what you would call that other than excitement of casting on something new. So this particular cast on I had highlighted in the episode where I talked about my 2024 knitting goals and kind of the projects that I had in line for what I wanted to knit this year. I have already knit this pattern. This is the one that I cast on is the hofud cardigan, which is by, let me grab her name here, Hiroko Fakatso. And somebody in an old knitting group that I was part of was knitting this when I was kind of in between, not really a new beginner or a new knitter because I have been knitting for a while, but just not quite to the confidence that I felt I could knit a garment. So kind of in that in-between stage. And it took me a while to get that confidence. I probably would have been just fine, but convinced myself I couldn't knit a garment yet. I saw her knitting this cardigan, and I absolutely fell in love. It is a beautiful cardigan. It's a beautiful style of cardigan. The way that it opens and the way that it flows and drapes, it's a great pattern. And depending on the yarn that you choose, it can be a fancy cardigan, it can be a casual cardigan, it can be something kind of in between. And so after I knit my first one, I decided that I wanted to knit a second one, and I had my husband purchase some yarn for Christmas one year. And I'll get into that once I show you what I've cast on so far. But I wanted to show you first the first cardigan I knit. So this is, let me back up. Oh my goodness, this picks up the sparkle amazing. This is the first one. Can you just see that beautiful lace detail, like, and the hang, and just the way that even the front, it just kind of, it's just, it's lovely. It's a very, very beautiful cardigan. And it's knit where you start with the sleeves in the back and it's knit flat, and then you actually join, there's a seam in the underarm here where you join, and then once you get to the underarm part, it just kind of goes through the back. So then you're just knitting this flat, front and back. But you basically knit like this rectangle and then fold it over and then knit up the bottom of the arms. And quite frankly, I was pretty impressed with my ability to join this. You do a provisional cast on, and just hold those stitches, those live stitches on your crochet, and I'll show you with my current cast on whip, and then that's how you would pick up and join. But for doing this for the first time, I'm pretty impressed with myself for lining it all up and how neat it looks. So I wanted a sparkle cardigan, and clearly I've got that. You can see that in this yarn. I believe the project page is on Ravelry, so I'll link it below so you can go and check out all of the stats on it. I know I got the yarn from a supplier in Canada, and I can't remember. So I will make sure to link all of that in the project page, or in the notes below for the project page, which does have all of the information regarding the yarn that I use, the size that I knit, and all of that. So I made my husband one year, or asked him, not made him, to buy me my first skeins of La Bien Amie. I think that this was probably 2019, and I had picked out the colors, sent them to him, and he got them for Christmas for me. So I had always loved the cashmerino base. It just looked so lovely, so drapey, but I knew it was kind of expensive. La Bien Amie is kind of expensive anyway, but then to do cashmerino and then having to pay for the shipping from France, it just seemed overwhelming for me to purchase it for myself. So I asked for it for a Christmas gift. And I had designated that yarn back then for this specific project, and ever since then it has been sitting in my stash waiting for me to cake it up and finally cast this on. So I decided to go with the same specs as I did for the first cardigan. This yarn will probably block out a little bit more, which will be fantastic. I am knitting it the same exact way, except that I do intend to put in the button that is optional in the pattern. And so here in the front, I don't know if I can really show this very well, but here in the front you can place a button and it will kind of pull it tight. So it'll sit just below the bust. The button would be just below the bust here. Actually, I'll just take one cardigan off and put the other cardigan on so I can show you. And I just think it would sit and pull just perfectly. So as you can see, it's like a absolute perfect fitting. I really did a good job on this. I don't swatch, so this was all just, we'll see how it turns out. So I will end up on the second one, I think, installing the button right here, so it just sits perfectly like that. And I mean, I could probably do it for this one too, but see how like great that just like it cuts down. It's so cute. Oh, I just love this cardigan. It's probably one of my more worn cardigans. So that will be the only adjustment that I make to this pattern, is to add that extra button. And the colorway that I chose was a little bit more neutral, but it has like these awesome rainbow speckles. The color is called Primary Rainbow, and here is the yarn, and that's actually like, it kind of is like this neutrally cream, but leans a little bit more yellow. I would say it's a little bit bright in this picture. It's probably a little less vibrant in life than it's showing, but then it just has like these beautiful pops of speckle rainbows throughout, and it is just so lovely. So I cast on the enormous amount of crocheted pieces. I think you have to crochet like some 240 for the size that I'm knitting. I'm knitting a size 4. I don't think I wrote it down. I think I'm knitting the 4th size on US 4 needles. I think it was like some 244 stitches that you have to pick up for the provisional cast on. So I did it, as you can see. I just tried to find some scrap yarn, so it's all different colors. But you just knit, like you knit the beautiful lace patterning as like a rectangle, and then you'll go back and pick up the provisional cast-ons here for the underarms and put them together, and then the rest of it that you don't pick up for the arms will end up being your collar stitches, so that when you go to knit that ribbed shawl collar, you already have live stitches to start with. And so as you can see, the patterning is just so lovely, and the colors are, it's like this very neutrally, like, I just love, I think it's going to be fantastic in any piece to wear. You know, I can wear it to work, I can wear it casually because of the color choices. It's fun because you have pops of color, but yet it's still neutral enough to where it's not like crazy, and you can still pick up those beautiful lace details throughout. And so I think I have maybe, well, no, I don't, the pattern's over there. I think I'm about halfway through, maybe a little bit less than halfway of this portion until I move into the next piece of it. But I am just loving this. I cast it on February 3rd, so it's only been on my needles for 10 days. And it's just been something a little bit extra than the socks. I will say lately I have just kind of gone toward the socks, like I said. But right now this is the other project, and I was sitting on the couch and I was just like talking to my husband, and I said, I really just want to cast on something new. And I feel guilty doing that, knowing that I have all of these other projects going on. And he looked at me and he goes, if that's what brings you joy, then go cast on something new. And so I did, and it's been a lot of fun. So I'm really excited to work through this. The Cashmerino base by La Bien Ami is a 75% superwash merino, 15% cashmere, 10% nylon base, and it has some really good stretch to it. So I can't wait to block this out. I just think it's going to drape beautifully. I'm really excited for this knit. I think it's going to make a beautiful garment. So that is the hofud cardigan that I cast on, and that is part of also in my 2024 goals to complete this year. I know that the Knit the Eras throw that I am working on just had the second mystery portion of the pattern released today. I got the email. My yarn isn't here yet. I swear, I thought my yarn was going to be here. I even think I said something about it in my last podcast being here, but I just got notice yesterday, or maybe this morning, that it should be here tomorrow or Thursday, which means that this weekend I will work on the month 2 for this mystery knit along. Last time it took me like maybe a couple of hours to finish the clue. So I'm hoping that I will be able to continue that same rhythm and have that clue finished up this weekend. So that way, for the rest of the month, I can focus on my socks and the cardigan. So I don't have anything new to show on that project, but hopefully on my next episode, I will be able to update you with the yarn color. I have no idea what's coming. I do know that it is the Fearless album is what it'll be based off of. And I have no idea. I haven't looked at the pattern yet, so I don't know what we're making or what we're adding to it. But I will surely bring that along as hopefully a semi finished portion of the clue. Do you call that a finished object, or is it still a whip? Because I would have finished the clue and I can't move on. Somewhere in between a finished object and a whip. You tell me, what is that? Is that a finished object? Technically, it's a finished clue. Is it a whip still? Because I still have more to do. I don't know what category that puts me in. It's not really a half-finished object, like a sock when you complete one sock and you have the other sock to knit. I don't know. If you know, let me know. So that is what I have on my needles currently, works in progress. Hopefully next time I will have more of the cardigan done. I will have another pair of socks to show you. Hopefully my St. Patty's Day socks are done and a new set started, and my Knit the Eras mystery knit along clue will be fully knit so I can share with you. Those are big aspirations for the next week or so, but I have faith in myself that I can do it. And there's sports on the weekends, so there's time to knit. So let's move into some of the procurements that I have to share with you for this episode. I didn't go too overboard this time. I know I have some yarn coming for next episode to share with you as well. If I don't, see, it's already mid-February. I should be able to podcast before I get my next round of clubs from Freckled Whimsy, but if not, there'll be quite a bit of yarn because I have Knit the Eras and my Owl monthly from Goosey Fibers coming soon. Ugh, I love yarn. Okay, anyway, I told you last episode I did the I didn't bring everything. Oh no, I just remembered. Maybe I showed this last time. I can't remember. If I did show it, I apologize. I will just go over it quickly. I got my 3 by the Seas design mystery Beauty and the Beast box came, and the yarn is fantastic. It's been here for a while, so anybody that's been part of it probably already has their yarn too, but look at those colors. Belle and the Beast, and it is so great. I love it so much, and it will be a really cute pair of socks. So 3 by the Seas. It also, I chose for it to come with a stitch marker, and it has a little Belle stitch marker. It's over on my knitting table in the living room, so I'm not going to go grab it now, but I'll show it off later. Maybe when I'm knitting the socks, I'll add it. And last but not least, my Freckled Whimsy Magical Mischief for February came, right? February? Yep. It's called Pygmy Puff. Look at that. It's so cute. I'm going to have such a hard time determining what pair of socks to knit next with which yarn, because look at how great this one is too. I have some Taylor Swift yarn because I want some more sparkle socks. I've got Beauty and the Beast, and I've got Pygmy Puffs. What do? Cast them all on? I should have like 3 pairs of socks going at once. That sounds like a really good idea. So again, I always get it on the Splendid base. It's an 85-15. The 3 by the Seas was her Sanibel base, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. So beautiful. And I think that is all of the stuff that I have gotten in the mail recently. So personal stuff, I guess work is still crazy, like I said. I try to just skip over that. I don't think you want to hear about my work. The boys' sports are heavily ongoing. We just signed up for the next round of sports that will start in March after this round ends. They're crazy with school stuff. My oldest is part of a community arts program where he plays tuba, which I love. It makes my heart so happy. So he's been doing that on Sundays, and which is a drive for us as well, but he loves it, and so we continue to do that. And I am trying not to watch so much TV. Actually, a lot of the TV shows recently I just haven't been that into. I don't feel like that there's like that great of TV watching. We watched Gordon Ramsay's what is that, Next Level Chef show on Thursdays. I really love that show, so we do make sure to watch that. And there's always Live PD, which is fantastic. I guess it's not, is it? Yeah, Live PD. Yeah, I think that's what they still call it. OPD Live, that one. She used to be Live PD, but not really. They'll tell you not really. So we get caught up on that on Friday and Saturday nights. And I have been listening to the Hawthorne brothers on my Audible. I'm almost done with that book. And then I think I need to finish I have a couple other books that are just laying around. I have a hard time reading before bed lately. I hit like maybe 3 minutes in and I'm just passed out. I'm so exhausted. So Audible has been where it's been for me. I throw it on in the car. I got about a 20-minute car ride to and from work. And so it seems to be just about right in keeping my attention. So if you haven't read, I think it's like the Hawthorne series, or the Inheritance Games, I think was the original set. And now I'm on the Brothers Hawthorne, which is the 4th book in the series. It's a fun series. I suggest checking it out. It's by Jennifer somebody. I'll post the information down in the description box. It is a mystery / fun, lighthearted, kind of whodunit, figure it out book. And truthfully, it had me, I couldn't figure it out. And so that was really nice, where you weren't already anticipating what the end was going to be. So I've been really enjoying that. I would suggest reading that or listening to it. The person that does the narrating on Audible is fantastic. So I highly recommend that. But for now, that is all that I have. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. I hope that you get to spend the day with somebody that you love, whether it's yourself or your yarn, your husband, your partner, your spouse, your kids. I hope that you are loved and feel loved, and that you have a great rest of the week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and sign up for notifications, ring the bell, do all of the stuff that YouTube likes to let me know that you like it, and I will be able to continue making episodes that you like. Don't forget to comment below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear about your makings and what you're working on, and keep in touch, and I will see you for another episode. Bye.